Alrighty. Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers with Akers Pest Control. Long time no see. I'm here, streaming tonight. Hope everybody's doing alright tonight. I am trying to still kind of get everything set up a little bit here. And I'm talking to myself. There we go. A little bit of a delay. I have my video here playing in the background so I can see that everything's working alright. So let me just move, well, I'll leave that there. Great. Perfect. Alright, so hopefully everybody can see everything okay. So tonight, and I did forget to do one thing because that's basically how live streams work, is everything is basically tech support for about the first 10 minutes. But hello, Molly. I am going to see if I can pull up. So tonight, my wife thought an idea might show you what I've been up to. So over the last month and a half, I've been moving. Oh, slow mode is on. Yeah, I have it on because I was having a lot of problems before where people were typing too much stuff. Let me see if I can fix that. Shoot. How do I turn slow mode off? Oh, crap. I had to look up how to turn the damn thing on before. Hello, Omar. So I'm not sure how to turn slow mode off. Let's see if I can. Sorry, you gotta bear with me just a minute. Let's see if I can fix this. There we go. Alright. Hopefully, that'll fix things. So, I've been moving over the past month and a half. That's what I've been doing. I've been gone. I've been editing videos. I was working last night. I just got my setup with my computer and my microphone and everything that I need to be able to stream. Finally found my camera. It took me forever to find my camera. It's packed away in a box somewhere. But tonight I wanted to show you what I've been working on. So let me see if I can get my... Oh, Omar. I'll tell you, you know, I've had a lot of people tell me they couldn't get Crossfire. I've got some people on my Discord claiming that they live in New York and they have not been able to get Crossfire. But I've got other people that claim they can. So I think it really just depends on who you order from, who's shipping to you, whether or not they will ship it to New York. I know they're not supposed to ship to New York. It doesn't mean that you can't get it in New York, because there have been people that have found other suppliers that have been able to supply them with Crossfire in New York from Amazon, where it just depends on the person who is shipping the Crossfire to you. So I have had people tell me that you could. So I don't know what the law is in New York. I know that neonics have been outlawed in other countries, like in England and basically Britain and the British Commonwealth. I know that those areas have had Crossfire outlawed, and so you can't get it there. But as far as New York, it's not against the law to have Crossfire in New York as far as I know. It's just they want pest control technicians to use it more than someone who is doing their own pest control. So I've been in the process of moving. Let me see if I can get a picture here. I want to add, let's see. Let's show you my house. Preview. All right. strip. Window capture. Oh boy, look at that. Now you get to see all my crazy stuff. So let's see if I can show Explorer. That's not it. Don't tell me it's not going to let me do it. Well, crud. I had all these pictures I was going to show. See all these pictures? I was going to show you all these pictures. Now it's not letting me do it. See, I should have figured all this out before I turned the camera on.
It's not letting you share.
Nah, it's not letting me share my pictures. I was going to show my pictures. But that sucks. So I don't understand. Feel free to ask any questions if you have any. I'm just kind of sitting here fumbling around, seeing if I can't. I want to show pictures of the house, but I can't show it. It's not working right. See, I'm messing my stream all up too. What's it called? Let's try that. There we go. There it is. All right. Done. So there is my house. We just closed on this house the other day. So, well, we closed on the 2nd of July. We were supposed to close in June, but things kind of got held up, and we didn't actually get the house until July. So this is what I've been working on here lately. This is my new project. And so that's the house. That's what the house looks like now. See, it's in the woods. It's got moss on the ground because there's so much tree cover. And then we've got, I've thought about expanding to other states, Omar, but that's just, I think I'd stretch myself a little too thin. Put a little bit of bleach down the drain, and Tony, what I recommend is about a capful in each of your drains, and it will kill the drain flies. It kills whatever they're breeding in the drain. You need to be careful if you have a septic tank. You don't want to do anything like that in your septic tank, because you'll kill the bacteria in your septic tank, which you don't want to do. But just a little bit, like a capful in each drain, will kill the bacteria in your drains that attracts the drain flies, and it will keep them from breeding in your drains. But you want to do more than just your kitchen drains. You want to do every single drain. If you've got a dual basin sink, so you got 2 basins on either side. Some people will put like a dish drainer in one side and they'll wash dishes in the other side. You'll want to make sure you put bleach down both of those drains. Every drain you have in the house, floor drains, even in your basement, you want to put them a little bit down in your sinks, in your showers, especially if you don't use certain bathrooms. So this is my new house, and these are some pictures. I want to see which one I want to show you first. Let's see if it'll show you this. This is a carpet upstairs. This is pretty bad. I don't think it's gonna let me do that either, is it? Let me see if it'll cycle through. There's me. That's one of the closets we put in one of the bedrooms. It's not in any particular order. There's my desk. See, that's where I'm sitting right now, in that desk right there. This is when we first got the desk set up. got everything together, got the basement all finished up. This is before and after. So this is what the basement looked like before we worked on it, and this is what the basement looks like now after we've worked on it. So you could kind of see what we've been doing, what we've been up to for the last month and a half. But they didn't have a ceiling fan in the basement. We put the ceiling fan in and installed the flooring and the walls and all this stuff. So this is what we've been doing. And then this is the yard. So if you go back here, there's the house. That's what the house looked like with all the trees and everything. And this is what it looks like cleared. So we hired a company to come out and cut all the trees down. This tree right here especially was rotten in the middle all the way up. They were all full of carpenter ants. In fact, you can see some of the logs right here. You can actually see where there's holes in them and everything. They were hollow. They were facing towards my kids' bedroom, so we had to have them all cut out. If there was a bad windstorm, it would have caused all the trees to fall over on the house. So we went ahead and had them removed. That was an ordeal. This is a picture of the fireplace. I spray painted all inside of it with that heat-resistant black paint, so it would make it look nice after we went and painted it. See, they're not in really any particular order. I didn't number them or anything, so this is not like a PowerPoint presentation or anything, but this is some of the work they were doing before they actually cleared the trees, just to give you an idea of how wooded our lot is. So when you remember that picture of the house where you were looking dead on at the house, this is looking back at the road. See, it's just full of trees, absolutely full of trees. And see, there's a picture of the guy actually up there cutting the tree down, topping the trees. So there's a picture of the basement. We tore up all the carpet in the basement. This is before, of course, we painted the fireplace, and after they took the wainscoting down. So there's wainscoting all around this whole rim. So they had to take that down and put up new drywall. And there's before and after. There's what the fireplace looked like after. Me and my wife actually did that to the fireplace. We painted it. We were up till 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 o'clock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
1 o'clock. Yeah.
And that's still
See
black,
now,
too.
that fireplace had a thing on it.
What thing on it?
It had a thing on it. It had a metal grate over top of the fireplace. What happened to that?
I don't know.
We just bought. So my wife talked me into buying one of the metal grates to put in front of the fireplace, but I'm looking right at one right there. There's one on there. There was one there. And the other one just disappeared. Can't find it nowhere. Don't know what happened to it. Did you throw it
I
away?
didn't throw it away.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Well, it disappeared.
I think that might have been one of the pictures that they had here.
Then maybe they took
Posted
it.
online.
Maybe they took it with them when they moved out.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, either way. There's some more pictures of clearing the trees, and there's another picture. Now this is after, so you see this right here. This is the night we painted it. So what we did was we did a lime wash over the fireplace, and it's like a white paint, and you paint it all over the rocks, and then you come back with a sponge and you wipe it all off again. So it feels like you've just wasted all your time putting it on there. But then you come back and you clean it off of the rocks, and it turns it into that. But then the next day, well, that's the wrong direction, I think. The next day when we woke up, that's what the fireplace looked like the next day. So it actually lightened up all the rocks, and it still looks like that now. It actually looks pretty nice. I like it. It's a lot nicer than it did look. But we have a mantle there too now, and it's black. But you can't see that. I don't think we have any pictures. This is a picture of Emma. That's my daughter. She's looking out, watching them cut the trees down, because that's a pretty cool thing, being a little kid watching the trees get cut down. And there's our nasty kitchen floor. We moved in. They had a dog that had tracked mud all over the floor, all in the house, all over the floor, everywhere. And then that's after my wife cleaned it. It's before and after. It ain't much of a difference because it's an ugly floor anyway. We got to replace that. I think it's ugly. Don't you?
I think
It's ugly.
It's ugly.
It's ugly. Well, somebody on here might think that's pretty because my wife thinks I'm pretty. But, and so beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Somebody might look at that and be like, ooh, that looks so pretty. But I think it's ugly. But anyway, there's my son. So that's Rory. If anybody knows him or seen him on some of my YouTube videos, that's my son. So we were working, moving all day, and he decided he was going to sleep in the bay window. So that's where he decided to go to sleep. Propped his foot up because he said he almost fell out of the window. So he put his foot there to try to keep himself from falling out so he could sleep in the window. But it's tiresome moving. And there's me and Emma. We were working on taking her closet apart. This is the old closet racks they were in upside down, so we had to take all those things out and put the new organizers in. And there's me at my desk. So this is why I have not been able to make YouTube videos in like forever, because this is basically my desk here. This is what I've been working on for months, or 2 months at least. An iPad and a desk chair, or whatever, fold up camping chair. That's all I had. And that's a cup of coffee that my wife had made me. And that's all that I had to work with. So I didn't really have a way to stream or make videos or anything like that. Couldn't edit them or anything like that. There's my kids. They fell asleep in the basement. See, it used to have that brown carpet, and there's that wainscoting again. That stuff we had to take down, but they passed out in the basement. I got a lot of picture of people sleeping because it's tiresome when you have to move. And so there's Charlie. He's a little baby. And there's Emma with her curly head. And there's Rory. He's sleeping too. And then there's me being an idiot. Yeah, I put that. I don't know why I put that picture in there. That's a stupid picture. Me being goofy. But there's a picture. So that's a carpet. That's what the carpets look like in the bedrooms. Like somebody had come in with some explosive diarrhea all over the carpet. And then my wife went through and cleaned them all. But they were still really nasty. So we put new carpets in the house. We had to replace the carpets. But there's the house again. So that's what I've been working on. That's why I've been so busy and I haven't been able to get on here and talk to anybody or anything like that. I feel horrible. So I want to say now, while I've got everybody here and I'm talking to you guys, I really appreciate everything you guys have done with all of your patience and dealing with me. I know I got lots of videos for everybody to watch. I got like over 200 videos on here now for you to go and learn things about how to deal with your bug problems and stuff like that. But I reached 10,000 subscribers about a week ago, and I never thought that I would ever be able to, reach the type of volume with the people that I've reached online to be able to talk and teach you guys about pest control and how to do your own pest control and how to kill bugs and bed bugs and roaches and fleas and termites and just everything. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff on my channel. And now it's my 4-year anniversary in August this year. It's been 4 years since I've been on YouTube, and I've got 10,000 subscribers. So I just want to say I appreciate everything you guys have done and watching me and putting up with me and all the questions you've asked and all the things that we've been through together. It's been pretty entertaining, and it's been really enjoyable for me. I kind of enjoy sitting here and answering all your questions, and it's been a humbling experience, to say the least, with all the, I had no idea. When I first started YouTube, I started YouTube because I noticed that there was a need for it, that there's not very many people on YouTube that are actually out there giving people true advice that have experience like I do. I've been in pest control for 32 years. I started when I was 6 years old, going up in an attic, dealing with snakes. That's the first thing I ever did when I was just a little kid. And here I am, 38, almost 39 years old, and never would have thought I'd be sitting here on YouTube answering questions. But DAO Democracy says, do you think we will have pest problems if humanity makes it to other planets? Or will we... they'll follow us, probably, if we go and start living on them. Cockroaches will live everywhere. Cockroaches will literally live anywhere. So they'll probably come with us, I imagine. But, who knows? The thing is, if you think about it, if a planet is able to sustain life, that's the issue, is that Earth, so far as everything they've seen nearby, near enough to actually travel to, Earth is the only planet that can sustain life so far. And the issue is that, like, you take the United States and the world, just the globe, all right? So you get mice. They've got these big guards on boats that sail all over the world in order so that when they're at the docking station, they don't end up bringing, or the docking station, what is it called? The dock? There's a dock, right? Wharf, whatever. The rats won't crawl up the lines and get on the boats, because boats take rats and mice into other countries, and it spreads disease to other countries. And so I could imagine that if you're flying to another planet, that the rats and the mice probably crawl right up on the ship while it's sitting there at the port. I would imagine. At least rats and mice and bugs and all kinds of stuff.
Even if it's like, let's say we inhabit Mars and we put up a space station.
Well, you know, you take a space station's a good example. They take bugs and stuff up into outer space now. They want to see. They take dogs and cats and animals and stuff up into outer space to learn to see how they behave. I could imagine. All right, I'll tell you a story. I got these bed bugs in a bottle. All right, this is what I show people on stream. You know, I show them what bed bugs look like and stuff. I've got them in this bottle. I pour them out in my hand before, and I've showed it to you guys. So I have these guys here, and they were working on the house, and they had brought some windows. We have some windows going in. All the rooms that we've done the remodel on, we're actually putting in new windows in these same rooms, and we're kind of, as we go through the house, we're going to replace all the windows. So they brought some windows over here day before yesterday, and I was standing there talking to him, and I said, well, those are bed bugs, because he saw these little bottles right here, because he just had a baby, and so he noticed that I had a baby bottle. And I'm like, well, there's bed bugs in that bottle. And he's like, no way, really? And I said, yeah, let me show them to you. And I poured them out of my hand, and I dropped one on the floor. My wife was freaking out, but they're all dead. There's nothing alive in that bottle. They're all dead. But she's freaking out, thinking I have live bed bugs, and they thought I had live, and they thought it was just hilarious. So that's, you know, I don't know where I was going with that. But I could imagine people would take them up into outer space, like a baby bottle full of bed bugs. Take them on up there and see how bed bugs react in outer space. Release them by accident. And then you got bugs in outer space. I could see that happening, because that's how humans are. So, what's the worst bed bug? Oh, Ann Tony says, what is the worst bed bug job experience you have had? So,
I know one.
What?
The one where we thought we had bugs and we spent 3 days up all night tearing the house apart.
Nah, that's not the worst one. The worst bed bug job. Man, that's a hard one. I've had so many real bad ones. Okay. So I have one bed bug job that I did in Northern Virginia. It was probably one of the worst bed bug jobs I've ever been in. It's not the worst. It's pretty close. It's still a really bad one. It's a contender. Because there's like 3 that were just really, really, really bad. So, this lady, she called me because I was one of the only ones that would work with DSS, social services. And and so I was able to give a discounted rate because it wasn't only her house, but also her husband's house, her ex-husband's house. Because the children were traveling back and forth between the houses, which is really common with bed bugs. If you have them and you've got children through another person and then they're traveling back and forth through the 2 people's houses, it's very likely to transport bed bugs back and forth. And so that's what had happened. And when I went into her house to pick up the mattress off the floor, and everyone had to be out of the house. Typically, that's the way it works with bed bugs. Everyone has to be out of the house. But I went in, me and my son, and we lifted the bed up out of the floor, and there were thousands. There were thousands of bed bugs. They started crawling all up the walls. And I'm not exaggerating at all by the numbers. You know, some people say, oh, there's thousands, millions of them. Well, it was thousands of them. There were thousands of bed bugs. They were in every single piece of furniture in the house. They were in the couches, love seats, lazy boy recliners. They were in the beds. They were on the mattresses, the box springs. They were on every bed in the house. They were living around the baseboards, under the carpet, around the edges of the carpet, so you could actually see them. There were so many of them squeezing down in around the edges of the baseboard where the baseboard met the carpet that you could, there were literal thousands of bed bugs in this woman's house. And we went in there, and believe it or not, we killed them with one treatment. We went in, and we basically tore all the furniture apart, flipped everything upside down, all the couches, love seats, everything, treated all up inside everything, inside the box springs, all mattresses and everything. They never had to throw away a piece of furniture. We killed all the bed bugs in the house. When you're dealing with a lot of poorer people, they can't afford to go and get new furniture. So you're trying to salvage their furniture if you can. And so we did. We went in and we killed all the bed bugs with just one treatment. I still did 2 follow-up treatments for her, and at no additional cost to what they paid on the very first day. And we went and did 2 more treatments, and she never had any bed bugs after that. Never. She hasn't had any more bed bugs. To the best of my knowledge, and that was 2 years ago. So that's one of the worst ones I've ever been on. Dana says, "Hi Jason, I use Crossfire Monday. When do you suggest I spray again? And do I spray entire house again? Did the entire house, but they were only in 1 bedroom." Yeah, I always do the whole house because you'll track eggs through the house, but I only treat the house once a month. You can treat as often as once a week, but bed bugs don't typically emerge. So what happens is when a bed bug egg hatches, it takes 6 to 10 days from the day it's laid to hatch. After it hatches, it takes 6 to 10 days for the bed bug to bite you. So that's anywhere from 2 weeks to 20 days before the bed bug is actually going to bite you for the first time. So there's not really any real reason to treat once a week, but if you really want to treat more often, I would go every other week or every 3 weeks. But even then, you probably can get as far as a month, once a month, and that's as often as I usually tell people. That's as less often as I would tell people to space it out. You don't want to go any further than 30 days. So, at most 35, but I would never go further than that when you're treating your house yourself for bed bugs. Yeah, if you decide to, yeah, that's a good point. If you decide to throw away your beds and you're wanting to get new beds and it's after you've already treated, but it's before you would normally need to retreat, then you want to go ahead and at least treat those pieces of furniture, those new pieces that you bring in, like your mattresses and your box springs. If you get a new couch, you want to treat all that stuff after you bring it into the house and set it up, then treat that again.
And then you can retreat on, keep it on the same schedule.
Yeah, so you doing this show?
Sorry, I'm just saying.
My wife, she wants to do the show. I'm gonna make her. They tell me you should sit here and answer some of these questions. I have had people say, "We want to see your wife."
I still say that the worst bed bug job we did was the one we did in our own house.
But it wasn't that bad.
It was 3 nights of sleeplessness.
For you?
You too. You're paranoid.
I slept fine. All right. Will you make more videos of the jobs you do, like a time lapse? That's a good idea. The problem with doing videos of the jobs that I do is I have to have media releases. You can't just go in, and I'm very I practice confidentiality. I don't let people know who my customers are. I don't want people knowing who my customers are, because nobody wants to brag about having bed bugs or having the bed bug guy in their house. And I try to be private. And so the jobs that I've done, where I've gone in and actually serviced the house and done the treatment, I have gotten the go-ahead from the customer to actually post it on the internet. It's not something that I would just did. I got the approval from the customer first. And that's really hard to get. A lot of people just don't want you going in and filming their house because that's just the way people are. So I was thinking about maybe doing my own house, maybe showing how to do a general pest control treatment, how to treat for things like spiders, ants, crickets, roaches, fleas, stuff like that. I can do it on my own property because it's my house. And I do treat my house for things like ants and crickets and centipedes. This house gets centipedes, and my wife's terrified of them. And so, I actually have considered doing that. I have a GoPro, a special mount for my GoPro that I was actually going to mount it to my B&G wand, the sprayer I use, to show you exactly how to apply the chemical. So I might do that one day, but that's definitely in the future. I've got one video I've been editing. In fact, my editing software is still open from where I'm working on one on fleas, to try to teach people how to do their own flea work. So that's what I've been working on now. So that's in the works right now. That's my next video to go live, probably within the next week, maybe even over the weekend. I'm hoping as soon as I get it done. I typically just post the video up. I don't usually wait. I might give it a day, but my videos go up as soon as I get them ready. So I'm at 10,000 subscribers now. I just feel like I need to kind of up my game and make a little bit more quality video for you guys. Because like I said, I really appreciate, I want you to be able to watch me not just ramble. I'll stick the rambling to my live streams.
You need to talk about all the pest problems we've had in this house.
Well, I've got to answer questions right now because I got a lot of people I'm trying to keep up with. So DAO democracy crossfire so strong lasts for months. I'd wait a bit longer. Yeah, I agree. I agree. DAO. Yeah, they last really the crossfire label only claims to last 30 days. So I wouldn't go beyond 30 days. I would still treat once a month. That's the way I would do it. That's the way I always do it. There have been rumors that crossfire lasts longer than a month, but I trust the label, so that's why I go once a month. I need to find them in the first place. Okay. Hi, Jason. Your advice really helped me get rid of German roaches. A few years back, after a whole year, I was in the bathroom and saw another one. I put bait everywhere and haven't seen any since. Am I safe? How long ago was it since you baited? That's the question. Because roaches take 28 days. That's their life cycle. It's 28 days to hatch. So you can have roaches in a month. Based on eggs. You know. German roaches anyway. That's the German roach. The Oriental roach is a little bit longer than 28 days. Actually, most bugs are on a 28-day cycle. So a lot of spiders are, roaches are, lots of bugs are. Well, if you haven't seen any roaches in 6 months, you're fine. But do you live in an apartment? Is that why you're continuing to get them? Is maybe a neighbor's got them? One thing about apartment living is when your neighbors use pesticides, they will chase bugs into your apartment. So that's one way people get them in apartments. So my wife says I need to talk about the bugs and the problems we've had in this house since we bought it. So I mean, Ashley, if you do a treatment once a month, just as a preventative, then when the bugs get in, they'll die. So that's what I recommend you do, something like that. But anyway, so we bought this house. We moved in the middle of July. And when we moved in, we found that there were bats in the attic. At least 72 bats, to be precise. When I got up on the ladder the next day to look to see how they were, if you know how many bats were in the attic and all, they had bat bugs living all around the vents where they were going in and out of the attic through the gable louver vent. And bat bugs are akin to bed bugs, and when bat bugs migrate, which they do in Virginia, they migrate south when it gets cold and they need food, so they go further south. The bat bugs will come in the house and start feeding on you, and they'll eat you just like bed bugs do. And so when I went up, they were crawling all over the outside of the house. They were everywhere. So here I am, the exterminator, had bat bugs on the house. I killed them. They didn't get in. They didn't move in. I killed the bat bugs. But we come down in the house. We have centipedes all over the house. The house was literally covered in ants. But every tree in the yard that I showed pictures of earlier, they were all loaded with carpenter ants. The house was loaded with ants. Ants, centipedes, and mice. Mouse droppings everywhere. Everywhere. In every room of the house. They were all over the basement. They were all in the crawl space. They were, it was so bad. This is a tri-level home. So a tri-level, like a split level, when you walk into the living room, the kitchen, and dining room. They're on the first floor. Then when you go downstairs into the basement, that's where we are now. So it's kind of like a den where we've got this is the office here where I'm sitting. And then over there's a TV, which you can kind of see right there. That's the TV. And then the fireplace is on the wall further on that farthest wall. And then there's a bathroom door, and that door right there is to the laundry room. So that's what's in the basement. And then when you go upstairs from the main floor, you go upstairs, there's 3 bedrooms and a guest bathroom and a master bathroom upstairs. So, but yes, we had bat bugs in the attic. But we had major bat problem in the attic. And so I was able to seal them out and get them out of the house, get rid of those. And the found termite damage. Of course, it's just damage. It's not active termites. Um, but basically every kind of pest control problem you could have in
And
the
mold.
house. Huh? Oh, mold. Yeah, we did have mold. We had mold. So the right here, this room right here, that's where the furnace is. And a furnace, when it's it's air conditioner furnace combo. So what happens is as the water condenses on the condenser and it leaks down and it goes into this little thing and it pumps it up and it gets rid of the water. Well, when the guys were here sanding the drywall upstairs, the air filter got full of drywall dust, so it leaked water all over the basement floor, about a gallon. And I caught it. We just happened to be here. We hadn't actually moved in yet, but we had happened to be here that night, and so I caught the water and we fixed the problem. But when they came down to take the drywall up, where the drywall had got a little bit damp, but they had to cut that drywall off anyway, they found mold. And so I had to treat the mold, which I can do that too. I can remedy that. So, but yeah, I've had, it has been, so they cut all the trees down, and when they grind stumps, it makes nothing but sawdust all over the yard. The trees have been covering the yard for so long, for years and years and years. There's literally no grass in the yard. So our yard is nothing but a mud pit right now. And they came and they ground stumps. So now we've got a bunch of, I guess, mulch is the best way to say that's what it is. We've got to shovel that all up and move that out from the yard so I can actually seed the yard and grow grass hopefully by next year. So that's what I'm working on now. My arms are like jelly because that's what I've been doing all afternoon, is shoveling mulch. That is a hard job. Anyone that does landscape work, my hats off to you. I mean, seriously, it is hard work, and those guys do not make near enough money for the type of labor that's involved in that. That is a lot of hard work. So, but anyway, I'm glad to be on here again and get my setup and all of my editing software going so I can actually film some more videos for you guys. Is there anything anyone here tonight would like to see me do? Because if you have any questions, I'm open to suggestions for new videos. So you just let me know and I'll try to get a video for you. Or I can answer the question now. If it's something I can answer quick and easy, I'll answer now. Wonder if I can get this thing to work. Do some videos about home improvement. It gets clicks too. Home improvement? Like, what do you mean home improvement? I mean, my channel's not really about home improvement. My wife was wanting to make a home improvement YouTube channel with all the stuff we've had to do here and fixing the house up.
You could probably do like a crawl space, because we have the mice problem that the people had before us. They were gnawing on.
Oh yeah.
wires.
So we went to change the dishwasher. So, all right. So answer me this. Anyone. This is open for anyone in chat tonight. How many people, when you go to do a walkthrough with your real estate agent, say, hey, do you mind if I use the dishwasher and do a load of dishes to see if it works? Because I didn't, and the dishwasher's broken. Dishwasher didn't work. So we had to replace a dishwasher. When I took the dishwasher out, we ordered a new dishwasher through Lowe's. They were supposed to do delivery. So we took a dishwasher out of the house and we sat it in the yard because they were supposed to come the very next morning and pick it up. That dishwasher sat in the yard for 2 weeks because Lowe's evidently lost a dishwasher in their warehouse. They had to order a new one, never ended up shipping it. My wife ended up just canceling the order altogether and ordered through Best Buy. They had it delivered like within 3 or 4 days. The wire going through the back of the dishwasher, through the floor, was actually worn from the excessive mice that the house had, they had actually chewed through the hot and the ground wire. They hadn't touched each other, so they weren't actually touching to arc or anything like that. But I was able to take them and tape them together, so that's what I ended up having to do to fix the wires and insulate them. But that was really kind of frustrating, so that's something. But my wife wants, I think that's actually a really good idea. I have to put down some plastic in the crawl space in order to show you how to properly install a vapor barrier. Because a vapor barrier is actually an important thing to have in your crawl space because it prevents the moisture from coming up and getting into the wood and ruining your insulation. And there's actually, I need to do some insulation work, and I need to replace my vents. All of the vents under the house, all of the crawl space vents have no screening on them, and I'm going to replace them with the automatic ones that open and shut with the weather. And so I can show how to do that. That would be something I could do as far as home improvement and pest control, and that would work really well for my channel. So, but yeah, my wife actually does want to do a documentary type, home improvement type channel. And she's a cook too, so she cooks a lot of really good things, and we're vegan, so we eat, hippie food. And so she wants to cook stuff for people and show them how we do stuff like that. So that actually might work on another channel.
Do
what?
You need to be the cook.
Yeah, my wife says I need to do the cook because I'm more entertaining to watch, and I'm funny because if I cook and I'll burn myself or do something stupid because that's how I am, and people will laugh at that. DAO says I need to install a vapor barrier. We have a fallout shelter akin to a large slab basement. Looks more. Oh yeah. The vapor barriers are fantastic, though. I love them. When you go to a house and you've got to do a termite inspection and you get under there and they've got a beautiful vapor barrier, oh, it's fantastic. I love it. I've been into some nasty houses. I could tell you that story. I got a nasty crawl space story I could tell you. Emma says, my daughter's name's Emma. That's a good name. Emma says, hello, we used Crossfire for bed bugs and it worked. Thank you for your recommendation. What would you recommend for spiders outside? Demon. Demon is what I recommend for using spiders outside. It's if I can find a link. Let me see if I can get a link for you actually. Because Demon is what I use for spiders, and it's cheap, but it works, and it's the best thing. I've used it for 30 years. Let's see, it's this one. Not now. And Demon Max. Kit. There you go. Okay, so that's for you, Emma, that link. So if you make that video, I'd watch and share it. Okay, thank you, Democracy. I'll do that. Just moved into a townhome a month ago and noticed there were roaches. I used boric acid, hot shot liquid. The leasing office wants to do a fogger. Will that work? No, it won't. Foggers don't work on roaches. The reason foggers don't work on roaches is because they don't have the residual that you need to kill roaches. Because roaches, like I was saying, I actually just got done talking about cockroaches a minute ago. Someone had asked a question. But roaches breed on a 28-day cycle. And you need a pesticide that's going to last for at least a month. That's what you need. So foggers don't work. Fighting bed bugs when you can't see well enough is great fun. Battling them for 2 years now. Pest control is so expensive, but learn so much from this channel. Any suggestions? The thing is, if you're continuing to have problems with bed bugs for 2 years, that makes me feel like maybe you're bringing them in from another location, or maybe a friend or family member that you don't realize might have bed bugs. And so that's a big issue. Usually on accounts where people continue to bring bed bugs into their home, it's because they're coming in from somewhere you don't know, or if you're living in an apartment type building where your neighbors have them and they're chasing them back into your unit. I recommend Crossfire for bed bugs. That's what I recommend. That's what everybody's talking about on my channel because that's what works. That's what I've used for the last 3 years. I've used Crossfire, and I have never looked back since I started using it. It is that good. It is an amazing chemical.
Another thing, though, too, if they're having problems with bed bugs, is it may not be bed bugs because we've run into both.
Oh yeah, now
Maybe
that is
bat
something.
bugs
If you
or
can't now,
cockroaches.
if you can't see the bugs, if you can't actually see bed bugs, and you've been fighting what you believe are bed bugs for 2 years, but you can't find them and you don't see any signs of bed bugs, there are several things it could be that it may not actually be bed bugs. Ants will bite you. Ants bite only specific times of the day. So if the ant colony has everything it needs to survive and it doesn't have a lot, it's not in need. It's just normal day-to-day procedure or activity. Then they are usually active in the morning between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning, and in the night between 6 and 8 o'clock in the evening. That's the only time they're active. And it's usually when people are either in the bed or when they've just gotten up out of bed. And so ants will actually get into the bed and bite you. And they're mean little devils, and they'll bite you all over, and it'll look like you have bed bugs. Fleas will also bite you, and it appears as though you have bed bug bites. I actually did this as a test a couple years ago. I got into an extremely horrible flea job. And I took pictures of flea bites that I had gotten underneath my socks. And it looked just like bed bugs. There were like 3 or 4 bites. And so I posted it on a pest control forum with other pest control technicians and asked, what do these bites look like? And over 50% of the answers I got were bed bugs, which is not true. They were fleas. They bit me. I know it bit me because I pulled the fleas off myself. So it may be something else that's biting you. Don't ever rule out that it may be something else biting you. But if you have actually found live bed bugs and you're positive that it's live bed bugs, you're probably using a chemical that the bed bugs are immune to, and you want to change and use something different. I have never had problems with immunity issues with Crossfire, but Crossfire has pibromal butoxide as an active ingredient, which is why it works so well. And I'm trying to keep up with everybody. I got so many people here asking questions tonight. I used Crossfire about a week ago, and I just noticed a lot of bites on my stomach. Now, if you use Crossfire, this is one thing I've noticed I've gotten a lot on a lot of my videos lately, is people are saying they're using Crossfire, but they're still getting bit by bed bugs. That's normal. That's normal. Bed bugs actually are not repelled by Crossfire. So the difference between Crossfire and practically every other chemical on the market is that Crossfire is a non-repellent pesticide. Bed bugs do not see it as a chemical. They do not know that it is there. They know you're there, and they know they can come out and bite you, and they don't know that the chemical exists, so they crawl over it and they die. But a lot of times they bite you before they die. So don't think that if you go and you buy Crossfire that it's just this miracle thing that you're just going to all of a sudden stop having bites altogether, because actually you're probably going to continue to have bites for at least 2 to 3 weeks after you apply it. That's normal. That's completely normal. I don't want to make you think that it's a miracle chemical or something that can do things that other chemicals can't do. It can kill bed bugs. It's really good at doing that, but it does take time, and you're going to have you're baiting them out using your own body as their food source that they want to eat, and they'll come out, they crawl through the chemical, and they die. That's the most effective way. The most effective way that I have found to deal with bugs in general, and this is not just bed bugs, ants, cockroaches, lots of bugs. If you can use a chemical and get it to where the bugs live and where the bugs travel, and they don't see the pesticide and they continue to act like they normally would, the chemical works so much better. Ants, you always want to use a non-repellent chemical for ants, because if the ants can see the chemical, they'll avoid it. Roaches, you want to try to use non-repellent chemicals for roaches too. You want to put it places the roaches are going to travel, places that they visit, places that they like to walk into, the cracks and stuff that they live. If you put that chemical there and they don't know it's there, they'll continue to live there and they just die. And so it's very effective. They haven't always had chemicals like this. Chemicals that are non-repellent, they haven't always existed. But here in, this modern age of, chemicals have become a lot more precise. They're a lot more sophisticated. They work a lot better than they used to. And I've used lots of pesticides in my lifetime. And that Crossfire, Alpine WSG, they're just really, really effective non-repellents, and they work really, really well. Leon says, if someone does a full termite treatment on their house, why do termites keep coming back months to a year later if Termidor lasts around 10 years? Okay, so Termidor is another one of those non-repellent pesticides. So the way that Termidor works, it's a non-repellent. The termites do not see the chemical, they crawl through it, and they die. Now, if the termite chemical has not been applied properly, or if you've got some jackleg exterminator that doesn't know what they're doing, and they're not abiding by the label, and they're not mixing the product to the label, what they're supposed to do, then you will have problems with termites in the future. They won't all die off. What happens with Termidor? When Termidor first came out, when they first started marketing it, and they were going through their testing phase, testing Termidor, what they did was in the areas where they test termiticides, they have these big fields where they take wood blocks and they sit them out and they treat the area and they wait for the termites to get into it, and that's how they tell how the termiticide works and how long it works for and all these things. They had to move every other termiticide away from the Termidor treatment area because it was so effective at killing all the termites that it was interfering with everyone else's tests. So they had to actually move test sites for all their other chemicals far away from Termidor. That's how effective it is. It's very effective. What happens is it takes about 4 days for a termite to die when it crawls through the Termidor. In that amount of time, it's communicating with other termites and it's spreading the termiticide through the colony. They don't have to feed it to the termites. It's not a bait. Baits don't work on termites. And so it's not a bait. It's a chemical that they crawl through. Termites cover an area of 10 city blocks. One colony covers a huge area. The termites that are eating your house also have another part of the colony elsewhere eating a stump or eating someone else's house up to 10 blocks away. And so the problem is that if you don't kill all the termites in that entire 10-block radius from that one termite colony, those termites will eventually be back in your house again, the ones that are eating a stump, a mile away. They'll come over and they'll start eating your house. So you have to somehow get something back and kill those reproductives, because termites only have 2 reproductives. Their entire colony consists of a queen and a king. They're like a monarchy. That's the only 2 termites the whole life of the colony up to 25 years. So all the termites from that colony come from just those 2. So if you can get the chemical back to the reproductives, you kill the whole colony. They all die off. And that's the way Termidor works. That's why it's so effective. If you're continuing to have termites months later, you're not supposed to have termites up. You can have them up to 90 days. And then after that period, because that's how long they claim it takes to kill the colony, after that you shouldn't have any more termites. If you do, the job wasn't done correctly. But I have a hard time believing that you're still having termites but Termidor actually lasts 16 years, not 10. I have a few customers complaining about gnats. Any suggestions? I enjoy your videos, by the way. Thanks for the content. Gnats. It depends where they're breeding. With gnats, you really need to find the breeding source, the actual where they're breeding. That's where you have to find where the gnats breed, and you eliminate that. You eliminate your gnat problems. A drunk member of our family brought them to us a couple years ago. Other members of my house have seen them, but we have fatigue issues and I can't see well through enough to fight them off. What are nitrogen treatments? A nitrogen treatment is when they go through with liquid nitrogen and they freeze bed bugs. It's not effective. It's a new scam. It's a new thing. When they first started doing that, I made a video about it. Because it's crazy. It's crazy. All right. The thing is, the idea that you can heat your house up like an oven. I mean, you could take some biscuits and put them out on your countertop, and then turn the heater on and heat your house up so by the time those bed bugs are dead, you got fresh homemade biscuits on the counter. That's how hot they get your house. Typically, it's 180 degrees near the ceiling up here, way up here. Because in order for the temperature to reach 130 degrees down near the ground, which is what the temperature needs to be to kill bed bugs, it's like 180, 160, 180 degrees near the ceiling. It is really, really, really hot. And that's when you start damaging someone's home. It's ridiculous to do that just for bugs. They're just bugs. That's insane. And now they've got this new technique using nitrogen where they go through and they freeze your bed solid, like ice. And it'll kill the bed bugs too. But the problem is bed bugs don't just live where the heat or the freeze treatment can get to them. They live in the wall too. And they live around your outlet covers. So, in the insulation. They're in the insulation of your wall. That's places they go. If you've been spraying bed bugs yourself, and you're treating around your house yourself, and you've been using chemicals and stuff in your house to kill bed bugs, then you will drive them into the walls of your house. And then you call your exterminator out there and they can't get to them. And that's when you want to use a chemical like a non-repellent so that the bed bugs don't see it and they crawl out because they feel like it's safe because they don't see any other pesticides out, and they crawl out and they get in the chemical and they die. So, I've just started my own pest control company. Where's a good place to get my form papers? The NPMA? You can get forms from them. What kind of forms are you looking for? Are you looking for like your WDI reports or what? I mean, I don't understand what you're looking for. I had my own contracts. I had a lawyer write my contracts. I mean, I had what I wanted said, and then I had somebody else write those up for me. So. What are you doing? She's sitting over here, typing on her keyboard. So, questions, if anybody has any. I could go on and on and on about bed bugs. Well, I mean, I could send you some information like what I have written on mine if you want. Decent woods. If you need, some information on what I write, I can send you a copy of one of my contracts so you can read over it and see what I put it on, and maybe use some of that. You can. I don't mind. There's some good communities that you could always become a member of. There's a pest cemetery owners group on Facebook. I recommend them. They're really good, and they've got a lot of really good advice for owners. And so you could go there. I'm there. I can answer questions there too. I answer questions a lot there. But I recommend going there and asking for, admittance there. They'll give you admittance if you're an owner. They have no problem. And then you can have they give you all kinds of good advice. I recommend going there. Are you serious? Serious? Look at this crap. Oh, I see. That is your email. That's held because I won't let people post that kind of stuff. But I got it. I got your email. Let me save you in my notepad. Do I have a notepad handy here? Let me see. Oh, it won't let me do it now. Oh well. I got your email saved. I'll send you some information when I get off stream. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night on the streaming tonight. I've been on for an hour. But hopefully I'll be able to do more of these on a more regular schedule now that I actually have an office set up. For those of you who have watched my live streams in the past know that I was in basically the way that old apartment was is it was a very open concept. So my office was in the same room with the dining room and the kitchen and the living room, and it was all there together, one big huge bunch. So this is really nice where I actually have a separate space where I can kind of sit here and talk to you. I got a much quieter atmosphere. My son, the baby, he'd be 2 in October. He's way up there in the room, way on off to the edge. So he doesn't even hear any of this stuff going on. I don't have to worry about waking him up. So you guys have a really great night. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed talking to you. And by all means, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send me anything you want through Discord. The links are in the description below. You guys have a real great night, and I appreciate it. Thanks.